Suspend the rules.
Have a seat. I apologize for that break, but despite what people think I'm human, it's just hard to listen to. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Do you have anything else you want to put on the record?
Your Honor, only a statement from Chief Jim Stewart with the Anderson Police Department.
Thank you,
yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor, for allowing us to speak on behalf of law enforcement. Of course. This has been a difficult case for us from the get-go. From the night that this incident happened to the bond hearings, meeting with the families, and continuing on. There has been difficulties with this case, and I appreciate you acknowledging law enforcement for that. Your Honor, also this has been a team effort. I understand that each case is unique, and we take that into consideration too. Upon meeting with the solicitor's office and knowing full knowledge of what this case could have entailed. We take that into account, and also the families that were involved in this case, and to spare them from having to go through so much court time. I also understand with this plea that there will also be civil remedies that will be available to these victims that are here with us today, and they will need that medical care for the rest of their life. As has been said already, I don't think that I can say anything that these families haven't already said to you, but today is the day for justice. Thanks, Charles.
Let me say something to you, and I certainly don't want to, sorry, I'm getting, the glasses keep getting stronger. I don't want to jeopardize a future criminal. But it needs to be said on the record that your department has acted in the way that we all want police departments to act, in that you didn't give up and stop. You didn't hide anybody. You didn't hide any facts. You didn't protect someone who may or may not allegedly has done something wrong. And again, I want to make that allegedly because that's coming. But from the very beginning, once this case a little bit sort of went off the tracks, thank you, I've been really impressed with you. I have no reason to say that because I know y'all are mad at me more than you like me. But can't tell you how much I'm impressed. And I've expressed that to people in the city who don't ever come here and don't understand the system. And you, of course, know what I'm talking about. I'll just leave it at that. But I'm heartened and impressed and have hope. Thank you.
There's nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. McDermott, I'll give you one last chance. Is there anything you want to tell me? I know there's been well, is there anything you want to tell me? All right. It's been a long day. I know that nobody wants to hear my thoughts, but let me just, for my own sake, tell you what I think. And of quite frankly, I'm surprised that I've done this job 15 years. Probably not as surprised as a lot of warriors that thought I'd last about 8 months, but I have done this for 15 years, and over the course of that time, one of the first pleas I ever did was a felony DUI in Spartanburg. And if you have any humanity in your soul, you will never forget those people who were defendants like Mr. McDermott, who are not bad people. I mean, in my job, if you'd been here earlier this week, you would have seen really bad people. I've been doing pleas. I have no idea how many we did. Probably 50, maybe. And I have done felony DUIs. I did one where I sentenced a guy to 100 years in prison because he could have cared less. There were 2 deaths. I still remember his face. I still remember his lack of remorse. And I had 0 problem sentencing him to 100 years in prison. I also remember very well a young man in Spartanburg 14 years ago who was very much like Mr. McDermott. No record, good guy, spent his whole life trying to do the right thing, and through his own fault, I mean, Mr. McDermott, you know, you've accepted this, and I got to tell you, that's impressive as heck to me. It's just, and you don't have any idea how few people accept. And as you said, somebody said, I think Mr. Krause, maybe man up. But I remember him in Spartanburg, good guy, bad situation, and basically stood in front of me over in the courthouse in Spartanburg and said to me, I don't care what you give me. There's nothing you can do to me that's any worse. Give me 200 years, give me life. And that end of the spectrum, those people that are good people who make mistakes are the vast majority of the people I see in criminal court. There's a significant minority of people who are bad people that need to go away forever. The disagreement between me and law enforcement usually is where that line is drawn. I say that only to say that after 15 years of doing these, I have a hard time keeping my emotions. That's the reason I took all this home with me for the weekend, because I didn't want to see it for the first time, because my heart breaks for these people. There is a famous case that's in the near past where a magistrate, who I will just say a magistrate, made a very inopportune comment in a very high-profile case where he talked about victims all around, including the family of the defendant. That was met with ridicule all over. I think he said it in a very bad way. That's his problem. Because in your eyes, I see complete remorse. You have one of the best lawyers that I've ever known. And there's no doubt in my mind that if you had said to her on day one, I want you to fight this every step of the way. That's why I ask all those questions, which are normally not a part of the plea. There's no doubt in my mind we would be sitting here 3 years from now in a trial, and Ms. Price, who was my law clerk and who I love just like I have, would be scrambling to figure out how to handle this case. What I'm saying is, I see true remorse with you, and you have manned up, and it will take the victims' families a long time to really forgive you, but in their hearts, I see real forgiveness, to be honest with you. I will tell you that the other thing I've learned in this job, that bitterness is a killer. It will kill you as quick as cancer will kill you as quick as a gun. It will eat you away from the inside. And Amber and Cheyenne and Samantha and Cory and Jessica are gone. Their lives were cut short in the most brutal manner possible. They had full lives ahead of them. And that is one of the saddest things that I can imagine. Judge Dwayne Schuler, who was a circuit court judge for a long time, I sat with him late one night. His father was killed in the Korean War. And we had this long talk about the will of God and the effects of death. And he explained to me, because I had never lost anybody at that time, how a death like this of three really promising people is like throwing a huge rock in a pond, and those ripples generate themselves through generations. It won't end in the death of the parents. They just continue to affect generations. I say all that to say that I read your little thing here that you handed up that I did not see this weekend. This was from your minister, something you wrote when you were in kindergarten. You wrote, "Sometimes it seems like God is taking vacation. Our faith teaches us that He's always with us, even when it doesn't seem like He is." And you wrote that in kindergarten. That's where we are now. This whole group of people over here feel like God's on vacation. I understand that your family probably feels like God's okay on vacation. And I understand, quite frankly, that at night when you lay there, based upon what I've been told, that you may think that God's on vacation. How did this happen? I don't get it. I mean, I'm 57. I still don't understand. But what you said was our faith teaches us that He's always with us, even when it doesn't appear that He is. I believe that. I suspect most of the victims' families believe that. And that's where you got to hang your hat. The truth of the matter is, because of a mistake or because of some action on the part of another person not in this courtroom and not involved in this case, you are going to get less time than you would have gotten if you had pled straight up in front of me. You're going to get less time than I suspect they initially offered. You're going to get less time than I suspect your lawyer told you at the beginning what you were looking at. Because you're looking at essentially a lifetime behind bars. And you have to wonder how all that works together, and Lord knows I don't understand. But here's the deal. The only way you can redeem yourself personally in this world is to do something to keep it from happening again. I am just so tired of seeing alcohol and drugs create situations where innocent people who are just driving down the road are just wiped off the face of the earth in an instant. And how two children, beautiful children, are going to have to face years and years of it. And I'm so tired of seeing people like you who don't have a ticket, not even a ticket or a record, who had dedicated their life to teaching other people, spend minimum 16 years in prison. I mean, this is the greatest waste of human life many of the people here are going to see. And unfortunately, I will see a lot of it. There are a lot of people here who will never see anything worse than this. And, you know, you can make it better. The fact that you apologize to these people, the fact that I know there have been things done behind the scenes that or attempts by you and your family to make them at least have some comfort means a lot to me. The fact that you manned up means a lot to me. On the day you die, you're going to remember this. The question is, what do you do from today until the day you die? And you know, I've got 3 boys who I threatened to not drive and drink. And then one that ignored me because he just didn't see the results of it. I mean, what the heck? You got to do something to stop this stuff. I mean, you've got a mission in life. It's not baseball. It's to do your time like a man, like you are. You have impressed me with what you did. You impressed me with what you figured out in kindergarten, that God had no vacation. And I suspect you're going to do something with your life. Unfortunately, they're gone. There's one way to honor them, and that's to stop it from happening ever again. And people listen to people like you. They look at me as an old man in a black robe. I watch them every week hear guilty pleas. They just zone out. Somebody like you that says I did 16 years because I went out and had some wings and chicken and made a bad mistake, you can literally deceive people. You understand that? I mean, I didn't mean to say that much. It's just you can't. And to the victim's family, this little girl here, you got to forgive him. I know some of you I haven't private plea in 12 years. You got to forgive him. If you don't, it'll eat you alive. Again, I'm just a guy you don't know. I'm just telling you, I've seen it from both sides. You got to forgive him. Okay? All right. Apologize for that emotion, which is, I think, a little unusual, but all right. I'll go along with the sentencing recommendation on the felony DUI with great bodily injury. Sentence is 15 years, a fine of $5,100, credit for 550 or 530? 530 days. All these run concurrent, and on the felony DUI with death, 18 years on each of them, $10,100 fine, credit for 530 days. This is over. You got a long time to think, and a long time to plan on how you're going to make it better, and they have a long time to live with their loss, and there is no way any of us will, except to do better and keep it from happening and to forgive them. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. him.